Here we are. We are here, ready to go. In a row with sound issues. All right, here we go. All right. So, uh, I know you guys are disappointed. Like, I know it. I get it. I'm disappointed too. But here's what we're going to try to do on this film breakdown. I think what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to convince ourselves not to give up on the season. Listen, we're Jags fans. We're Jags fans. We can't give up this early. And I think I can convince you through this film, and I have a crap ton of clips loaded up. Here are my subfolders for the film. D bad, D good, O bad, O good, and then blocked field goal kickoff return. So we have all sorts of things happening tonight. We're going to go through the film. This is a fan show. So normally I go through the film pretty quick, and then I don't read a lot of comments. That's not how tonight's going to go, because you know what? The Jags didn't play good enough for me to ignore Jags fans' comments. So I am not only fired up for tonight, but we're going to do things a little bit differently tonight. So yes, film breakdown show, but I want the fans to sound off. I have my solution. Okay, I have my solution, which we'll get to later. But I want to hear your solution. Listen, let me just tell you right now. We're 4 minutes in. I had a 2-minute intro. The band's Straying Anchors. You can check them out on Spotify. They've been fortunate enough to let me play their songs on all of our intro videos. But listen, we know the problems with this team. Okay, we know. Like, we get it. What I want to hear is your solutions. What are your solutions to this team? If you were the coach, if you were the GM, if you were the Shad Khan, what would you do to fix the team? Okay, because everybody has an opinion. Okay, everybody knows the problems. The offensive line, Calvin Ridley, the catching, the special teams, the secondary, the play calling. We know all that. So you tell me what the solution is. And as we go through this film, and I have there's no way we get through all of the film. There's no way. I mean, I ended up clipping every single play. So usually I have some sort of algorithm or rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. Tonight, I'm just going to, whatever clip kind of comes up first is going to be it. So get in the chat. Tell me your solution to fix this team. Before we get into everything, I got to plug the social media, boys. I got to. Follow the Twitter, follow the Instagram. I posted on Twitter that we were going live tonight at 9 p.m., so you would have known about it if you were on Twitter. I did not post on Instagram. That's my bad. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell. And here's why you want to hit the notification bell, is because there are times when we do live shows that are not scheduled. Our normal schedule is Tuesday and Friday night. Sometimes we veer away from that, right? So you want to have the notification bell ready to go. Again, give me your solutions. I'm going to try to get to every comment. If you have a good solution and you typed it in the comments and I missed it, just Control-C, Control-V, type it again in the comments, because I want to get to it, but I have a feeling that tonight we're going to be pretty comment heavy, so I cannot guarantee I hit every comment. I do like to hit the first comment in the chat, and that's Duval TV, who's always here early, and he says, Duval. Sludge Sports says hello. Robert Adser, what up, Robert, says hey. RM Skip, who's the first channel member in the chat, says, we're here to hear what happened. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what happened, and I'm gonna be, and listen. I thought about this earlier, and I'm so glad I remembered to say this. When I'm showing these film breakdowns, you guys know I've been a football coach my entire life. I bounce between how I would talk to a football player in the film room and then how I would talk to these people if they were standing right in front of me, right? A lot of you guys are really big on hating on K'Lavon Chaisson. Now, if that 6'4", 240 MFer was standing right in front of you, I doubt you would say the same thing about him. So I go back and forth, because if I was his coach, I would say one thing. if I'm a fan and I'm like, yo, Clavon, whatever. So I go back and forth. Here's my attempt tonight, and I want to get this out of the way, and then I'm going to get to the first clip. My attempt tonight is I'm going to talk like I was a coach in the film room and I was coaching them up for next week. But keep in mind, I may say some things that are a little critical, a little harsh, but keep in mind that I do respect all of these players as athletes and as humans. Okay? So let me just get that out of the way right now. Okay? Thank you, RM Skip, for being the first one in the chat. Okay. Now let me pull up just what I think is quintessentially the problem with this team. Okay, here's the problem. Okay, we are way more talented than the Texans. Okay, and even you could even make the argument that the Texans are as good as a team as us. And I thought C.J. Stroud played an outstanding game. Outstanding. Like when I went back, I was at the game, so you know how that is. You don't get to really catch everything when you're at the game, like for what it's worth. But when I went back and watched it, I mean, C.J. Stroud is the real deal. I mean, this is either C.J. Stroud's best game ever as an NFL quarterback, or he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. And I'm okay with that. I know he's a divisional player, but dude, his footwork in the pocket, his pocket awareness, his ability, he went through like reads from right to left and then checked down to a running back going through all his reads. Trevor doesn't even do that on every play. This play sums up the problem with this Jags team. It's not the talent. It's they lost their edge. Somewhere between the playoff run to now, they lost their edge, okay? When you're on kickoff coverage, you have to be a dog, an absolute dog on kickoff coverage. And I know we all have seen this play. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but you have got to be absolutely kidding me. Okay? You have got to be absolutely kidding me. Like, what on earth are we doing? Okay, now here's the thing. I'll even admit the fact that if you've watched football for a long time, okay, and most of the people in the chat have watched football for a long time, when the kick returner drops the ball and there's like a brief fumble and then he picks it back up, there's a tendency for the kickoff coverage to kind of get out of whack. Like, it's kind of all based on rhythm. And you can see here, we're all clumped up in the middle of the field here. And we have seen from time to time when a kickoff returner drops the ball, everyone crashes too hard, and then if he can break outside contain, then they have a tendency to have a big gain. But not a fullback. Not a fullback who runs probably a 5.2 40. Okay? Now, first of all, and again, we're not going to spend a lot of time here. We are not going to. Okay? We're not going to spend a lot of time. Because, quite frankly, for my health and my blood pressure, you can't. Okay? You can't. But here's the thing. Right here. This position right here is called an L5. An L5, right? We're on the left side. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not very complicated where we get the terminology from. The L5's only job is to make sure nothing goes outside of them. That's their only job. And you may be thinking, well, that's easier said than done, Jason. Like, have you ever been in the NFL? No, I have not. But here's the concessions the NFL allows you to make, okay? Look at how everyone's flying down the field, okay? Look at where our L5 is. My boy's not flying down the field. So he knows his responsibility. And I would even give him this, like, okay, you're actually doing your job up to now, okay? Now, we're going to completely ignore the missed tackles that happened initially. We're going to completely ignore 1, 2, and 3 missed tackles. Now, although that's inexcusable, and this kind of goes to my point of that this team just lost their edge somewhere. Like a team with edge, a team that's like fighting for their lives, backed into a corner, does not miss 3 tackles on a fullback who's picking up the football. Okay? Now you're going to tell me that you're going to crash. Bro, you're outside contain. What are you doing 3 yards to the right of the right hash? You're outside contain. The kicker here is anticipating something faster than you are. This is your only job as outside contain, to not let anything outside of you. You're a fullback. And you missed the tackle. This is just pathetic. Okay, first of all, what is Cisco doing? Like, are you tired? Like, you're a starter. Maybe you're tired. But, bro, you are the only starter probably on this kickoff coverage. You're telling me you're going to mail it in here? Absolutely pathetic. And this has nothing to do with the coaching. This has nothing to do with the game plan, which I didn't love. This has nothing to do with the injured offensive line. This has nothing to do with Calvin Ridley dropping the ball. This has nothing to do with Trevor Lawrence not being able to make the throws. This is just grit. This is just your 11-man kickoff coverage not doing their job and not tackling. Somewhere along the line, this team lost their edge. And it was incredibly evident in this game. All right, I'm sorry. I think I just needed to get that out of my system, boys. Okay. All right. All right. That's the coach in me. If I'm in the film room, I'm laying into the team that way. Now we're going to take a deep breath. We're going to look at this team like rationally, practically. Okay? I just needed to get that out. Let's get to some of your comments. Again, I'm looking for suggestions. I don't want to hear problems, okay? Because that's the problem. 100 miles per hour says Clavon is probably an awesome guy, but he sucks. I have a Clavon pressure queued up just for you, 100 miles per hour. RM Skip says LOL. Let me get to some of these solutions. Get Dalton Risner Sludge. That's not a solution. Dude, you're the best. My solution, Jags United, needs to broadcast daily during the season. That's what I'm talking about, Carpe Diem. That's what I'm talking about. Brett E says, no more Agnew playing wide receiver, Walker to right tackle, and Cam back to left, Ben Barch for Shatley. I have been the toughest critic on Jamal Agnew up to this point, but I got to be honest, Jamal Agnew actually had, he had the fumble, which killed us, but he had a decent game as a receiver. I mean, he did have the fumble. And again, you cannot ignore the fumble. I know. But, that's his problem. It's like if you take away the one big slip-up he has, he's actually a decent player. He had a good game as a wide receiver. I got a couple clips of him running good routes and making good catches in traffic. It's just the one time per game he fumbles, which you hate saying. Chris Mason says, get sticky stuff on the wide receivers. Paolo Choi says, solution is to max protect every play. Jaggernaut says, it's the lines, just don't know how to fix it. Maybe with Cam coming back, our O-line will be better, but our D-line, oh man. BT says, solution idea. Run it back with the 2022 offensive scheme, ease in Ridley and Tank, and go light on Agnew. Chris Mason says, grease all the running backs. King Khaled says, trade a first to the Panthers for Brian Burns. So you guys are I've seen a couple comments in here about Brian Burns. So you guys, and again, this is fair. You guys are, and some of you were just saying that we just need an actual pass rusher. I get that. The question is why is still an issue. Rourke is better than Lawrence. No, he's not, Chris. No, he's not. All right, let's get to some more plays here. All right. This is one more play about the team losing its edge. And I'm going to try not to freak out. I think I'm okay. I think I'm in a better headspace now. But just one more play, and then I'm going to get to the good plays from the offense and the defense. Because I do think there are things to build off of. Okay, I do. Okay, but just one more play here that I think is worthy of looking at. So this was obviously the second drive of the game, I think. when we needed a field goal. And, like, again, like, this is the little stuff. This is the stuff that a team with edge, a team with a chip on its shoulder, this is the type of things that they don't do. Like, this is not Houston being better than us. Like, not only is Houston not better than us, they had so many backups playing. It's not that. It's not that. I mean, it's just, it can't be. So let's take a look here. Somebody is designated to be like the counter. I know this sounds weird, but somebody, and it's probably Logan Cook, okay, because he doesn't have a lot of responsibilities. But somebody is responsible for counting the helmets on one side of the field and then counting the helmets on the other side of the field. So when Logan Cook, or whoever it was, it could have been Gotsis, could have been Brenton Strange. If I had to guess, it was probably Logan Cook. You count, and you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. C. Breacher with the $5 super chat. He says, United, I look for you to solutions, not the other way around. Well, first of all, C. Breacher, I loved your last post on the Jags United meme page. And if you didn't know, there's a Jags United meme Instagram page, which cracks me up. Okay, they're great, and we're gonna get to that maybe later in the show. I kind of wanted to save it actually, so I might save it for the Friday show, just because I want to give it its due attention, and I kind of want to do the film breakdown here. But C. Breacher, thank you for the $5. C. Breacher is awesome. Maybe he could use that $5 on a Rainbow Six skin, and maybe that'll help him be more accurate. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's my solution there. Okay, so Logan Cook's counting 6 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so obviously the Texans are stacking our left, their right, our left, okay? So somebody's responsibility is to say, protect left. Protect left. And what that does is that tells everybody on the left that you have a lot of people coming, okay? Now, these are NFL players at the middle school level, at the Pop Warner level. You are taught on kick team or punt team, you block the inside. You block the inside. Here's why you block the inside. Because 1 and 2 have an insanely long distance to run if they have to run outside of you. However, if 3 through 6 get an inside release, we all know the fastest point from point to point is a straight line, the hypotenuse. We all know about the right angle, the triangles, right? We all know if you get a straight line release, you're going to get blocked. So we teach this at the middle school level to squeeze down, block your inside. Somebody called heavy left. You have one job. You're an NFL player. And what happens? You're going to let somebody get a clean release. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to get mad here. But you have one job, bro. You have one job. Antonio Talentino says Trevor isn't the issue. I agree. Chris Mason says T-Law is not the problem. He was way too happy. The smile pissed me off. Now, it could have been that the beverages were flowing on Sunday, but when I looked up at the Jumbotron and saw Trevor smiling, walking off the field after an interception, I wanted to punch somebody. I really did. Duval TV says, look, I'm a diehard Jags fan. I won't accept any Trevor Lawrence slander, except when he is not the problem. I understand. You may be frustrated, but I don't want to hear anything about NB. And I missed what NB was. That's okay. Listen, we're fine. Grease the ribs. Grease our running backs. I don't know what Chris Mason's saying, but I like it. I like it. Steven Salvador says, what's up? What's up, Steven Salvador? He looked sad at the presser, bro. Well, he better. Okay. We're gonna shift gears here, boys. We have D bad and we have D and we have O bad, but I don't want to harp on that. We've harped on the problem. The problem is this team lost its edge. This team lost its grit. I don't know what happened. I don't know who to blame. Them, the coaches. There's not always somebody to blame. We just gotta hope that after this like wake up call from losing to the worst team in the NFL, that we bring it together. Antonio says the real question, should Doug be taking over the second half, or was that false news? I don't know what to believe, dude. You're going to tell. Here's my problem. I love Mia O'Brien. Like, Mia O'Brien is like, I don't care. I mean, you have to be either a woman or a former player to get a job in national media and news media nowadays. Which, listen, I don't care. Listen, I would hate to be in that industry anyways. I really would. Like, that would suck. Mia O'Brien has a history of like shitting on YouTubers, and not me. I have no vendetta, but I've seen her shit on YouTubers on Twitter. So there's a part of me that is kind of like, come on, Mia, like, get your sources right. Like, when the head coach is coming out and being like, that's wrong, probably not a good look. That's all I'm going to say about that. D good. We're going to start with D good because you know what, boys? I'm over it. Okay, so I know there's a lot of hate for Walker Little. I just said Walker Little. I'm sorry. Travon Walker. I know there's a lot of hate for Travon Walker. Let's take a look at Travon Walker. So he's going to be lined up here. I would say most coaches would agree this is what's called the 7 tech, okay? And now you may find a coach every once in a while that would call this the 9 tech. And again, coaching terminology is just all about what you want to do with your system. But he's like maybe a body outside of the tackle. So we'll call this the 7 technique, okay? And you're going to see him kind of single-handedly blow up the backfield here. And this was just a poor call by the Texans. And what's funny here is this is like people, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I don't have time and I don't care that much, but people are always like, should we run a 3-4 or should we run a 4-3? And the reality of it is they're all the same thing. They're really all the same thing. If you looked at this, what would you call this, a 3-4 or a 4-3? Well, the answer is it's actually a 3-4 because you have a nose lined up in the shade of the strong side, okay? But you have 4 guys in the down lineman. You could call this a 4-3 under front if you wanted to. So it doesn't really matter, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. But the Texans are going to run to the weak side because Josh Allen's your strong side edge here. You have Devin Lloyd in a Luacon middle of the field. Cisco's walked down here. And watch Travon Walker. He's going to get a good get off. They're going to leave him unblocked. He's going to blow up the fullback and make a play in the backfield. I mean, this is – I know he doesn't get sacks, okay, and I get that. And that's fair. He doesn't get sacks. He gets pressures from time to time, but he is our best run defender, and that's the bottom line. He is the hands down our best run defender. So if you want to sit here and be like, well, you don't take a run defender at 1 overall, that's probably fine. And, like, I would listen to that argument. Like, we shouldn't take just a run defender at 1 overall. But he is our best run defender. And that's just the bottom line. Not just from this one play, but just from, like, the fact that, like, I break down all these films. He's our best run defender. He can chase things down from the backside. So he's not completely useless. Like, you cannot just, like, designate your fullback to block him because he's going to blow him up and then keep his outside shoulder free and make a tackle. So there's my first play in my D good file here. Duval says Mia's the GOAT. I'm not saying a single bad thing about Mia. She went after Jags YouTubers, like a couple different ones on Twitter. That's why go after people? I don't know. Maybe there's insecurities. I can't judge. I don't have a lot of insecurities, as you can tell. I just say whatever comes to my mind. So it's just hard for me to kind of empathize with people that do. I don't know. Washington State Jags fan says, rally the troops for next week, Washington State. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to do, and I'm glad you're here. I appreciate it. Nick Ludwig says, LOL, she's not a fan of UCF Jaguar. Yeah, she just went on a little rampage shitting on YouTubers. That's fine. And listen, I'm not. I keep saying this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I don't really care. I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea of how I really feel. But we had a really prominent 1010XL person on our UCF Jaguar, and me did a show together years ago with this prominent 1010XL person. And after the show, and I'm not gonna air out who it was because that's not what I'm into. After the show, this person was like, "Y'all made 5 times more money than we make a week on one show." People were donating with views, and this person now is pretty heavily into YouTube. But if you're gonna sit there and shit on YouTubers, I don't know, I don't know. That's it. That's it for me. I'm done talking about it. I'm done talking about it. Brandon Waters, who's one of my favorite commenters, says, "I'm going to watch this tomorrow. Just came to show some love. It's just week 3, y'all. We'll be all right." And then he puts in, "Right?" I hate you, Brandon. You had me all convinced until that last part. Sea Breacher says, "Yo, guys, remember how much hate UCF got when he thought Shad was selling the team?" Duval TV, "The solution is to do the basics better. When you're open, catch the ball. They also need to start fast, score the first touchdown, stop falling behind and trying to dig out. Do your job, focus, execution." He goes on to say, "I didn't know she went after YouTube Jags channels. About what exactly?" So basically, she went after UCF Jaguar and then someone else on YouTube. Jesus is King. Jesus King, thank you for being here. Jesus King, I swear, if you donate money, I will not read your comment. So do not donate money, Jesus King. You have donated enough money in this channel over time. Do not do it. I promise you. I'm not saying that to patronize you. I want you to just to enjoy the stream for once. He says, "Mia O'Brien gave Locked On Jaguars a hard time interviewing her, always acting like she's busy, but she's on the..." Okay, I don't want to get into Mia O'Brien slander because I know nothing about Mia O'Brien. She's probably a great person. It's easy for me to justify talking bad about athletes because I spend so much time talking about how I respect athletes and I respect the fact that they play this game at a really high level and they dedicate their lives and their livelihood to the game. And I spend a lot of time talking about that. I don't spend enough time talking about how Jags media members do that. So I feel a little bad talking about them because I want to be fair. And call me PC, but that's how we do it around here. Ron Beedry said, "I thought I was your favorite commenter, bro." Well, Ron, if you know anything about a YouTube channel, you have to tell multiple people you're the favorite commenter. I'm just kidding. I think hands down my favorite commenter, and he's not even here, I think is Timmy Devil, and he's not even here because Timmy Devil just says something intentionally to piss everyone off in the chat, and the little troll that lives inside of me really likes that. So, Timmy Devil, wherever you are, we need your troll comments here. Sea Reacher United reverse psychology. No, this is not reverse psychology. Listen, I have no. Okay. We have devolved away from film. This is a film breakdown. We're getting back to our next best play here. All right. I think you guys already know where I'm going with this. And if this is your first time watching a film breakdown, I apologize because this is after I debated not even doing a film breakdown this week because this team was pathetic. I was at the game. I got cooked like a hot dog on July 4th, sitting in the sun all game, thinking to myself, well, shit, I have to do a film breakdown on this game. Okay, so I apologize if the quality of this film breakdown is not as good. Go back and watch some other ones. They're better. But you're not going to take my boy Kalavon Chazon away from me. All right, I want you to watch my boy Force of Pressure. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look. Now, we're not going to talk about the fact that he was absolutely unblocked. But when you line up in the, we'll call this the 6-tech. And again, I don't know. I mean, whatever you want to call this. So look at my boy here. Again, like, look, I mean, I thought Chad Muma played an absolute terrible game. Watch my boy Kalavon. And listen, then they're going to try to do some pre-snap motion with the fullback out to the weak side. Get that wheat junk out of here. You're not fooling my boy Kalavon. You think Kalavon is going to be fooled by the play action to Devin Singletary? Now, although he did have a decent game against us, let's take a look at my boy Kalavon. This is why the boy's still on the team. Y'all wanted to replace him. I don't think so. Now, let me just tell you something right now before you start saying that's not that good of a play. My boy C.J. Stroud only had 10 incompletions all game. This was one of them. 10 incompletions. My boy was he 20 for 30? He had 10 incompletions all game, and your boy Kalavon forced one of them. Not on my watch, buddy. Not on my watch. Guy says, oh, here we go. Chris Mason says, film don't lie. Why is Chazon always unblocked? Do defenders just forget about him? I got banned from Jacksonville Jaguars live streams for trolling the Detroit Lions during the preseason about the Lions not winning a playoff game since 1993. I guess I got blocked for bullying. Well, Duval TV, honestly, you are kind of a bully, and I think that this may be a good opportunity for us to have an intervention with you about being a bully. So be looking for that. Kev B says, I'm so tired of seeing fans go to a game and see nothing worth coming back for. What a ripoff. That's the part that probably pisses me off the most, is like the equity in versus equity out. Antonio says those players were cap casualties. Steven Salvador says Trevor was a wasted pick. So I think Steven Salvador is now no longer going to get his comments read after that. Duval TV. But yet they let Lumon 007 with the Titans. I don't know anything about that stuff. I don't watch. I mean, I watch UCF Jaguars stuff from time to time. But I have so much going on in my own life. I don't have time to watch other people's stuff. I want my Muma. Chazon should have his arms up to block the pass. All right. Here's a decent play here. Now, this is actually back-to-back plays. This is back-to-back plays of Devin Lloyd. So, the first, quarter, I was, really quick to be on Devin Lloyd for being bad. And I was like, you know what? Screw Devin Lloyd. He's doing nothing for us. But then as the game went on, he actually played better. And we have to get the elephant out of the room. Fourth quarter, especially the back half of the fourth quarter, was garbage football. Garbage football. So I'm not even counting that. But Devin Lloyd actually played pretty decently here. So two things that I wanted to see the Jags do from week 2 to week 3 is I wanted to see them blitz more on defense, and I wanted to see them open up the offense. Like, they were too – you guys watched the film breakdown. They were too compact. They were too tight. And so I will give Mike Caldwell credit. He blitzed the crap out of C.J. Stroud, the rookie quarterback. Why wouldn't you blitz the crap out of C.J. Stroud? And C.J. Stroud handled it really, really well. He really did. I mean, he anticipated the heavy blitzes coming. He knew where all his checkdowns were. He knew where his tight end releases were and all of that. And C.J. Stroud played a good game. They ran the ball effectively against us. They ran play action. They had 3 plays of over 30 yards. C.J. Stroud played a good game. And sometimes you have to give credit to where credit's due. But this Jaguars team is good enough to where even if C.J. Stroud plays a good game, they should still win, especially the injuries that they had. So we are going to look at some good here. This is Devin Lloyd, and this is 2 plays back-to-back. Like, this isn't like I cherry-picked 2 plays out of the game. This is 2 plays back-to-back. So watch Devin Lloyd here. He's going to do a good job flowing ball side, right? He's starting off to the field side, flows right away to the screen, reads the screen, and makes a good tackle. I mean, that's good football right there. Because, again, look at where he's starting out. You can see him and Aluakon. Aluakon obviously had the pre-snap blitz already called up, ready to go. Like I said, Mike Caldwell had a lot of blitzes called up in this game. Aluakon knew he was going to have to float. He read his keys. And again, reading your guard keys from this side of the field can be hard to do. So he does a good job reading his guard keys pre-snap. He sees that the tackle and the guard push out. Good job with the tackle there. Very good job. Very nice. A very next play. Okay, him and Aluakon are talking. They seem to be working together pretty well. He shows pre-snap that he's going to be blitzing. And again, they did a lot of pre-snap disguises. We're actually going to see a play where Rayshon Jenkins, I think it was Rayshon Jenkins. Rayshon Jenkins tries to disguise a blitz pre-snap and ends up getting burnt huge by Tank Dell. Devin Lloyd does a good job. I mean, look at him. He is standing at the line of scrimmage. If you are CJ Stroud, you're thinking that the Jags are playing just a cover 2 shell. You see Campbell lined up in straight man. I mean, you see some outside leverage here by Darius Williams. I mean, he does a good job here disguising it pre-snap, and you can see where it comes in. He sinks into his passing zone and almost gets an interception. Not only does he almost get an interception, he almost forces a tipped interception. So, good job, back-to-back plays by Devin Lloyd. They end up punting here. Again, I wanted to be quick on Devin Lloyd. I wanted to be quick on him. Like in that first quarter, I don't think he played great, but he rallied. And you saw a lot of the Jags rally, like in the second half. Like whatever was said at halftime, you could see a clear difference in the team. They didn't score any points in the first half, but you saw a clear difference in the team in the second half. And I don't know if it was Doug Peterson calling plays, because I don't think that's a big deal. But again, just like the kickoff, the penalties, they gave up. They had a huge coverage lapse. I don't know. I don't know what to think. It's hard to sit through a Jags podcast show now. Nick Ludwig with $5 super chat. Thank you, Nick. He says, why does Trent Baalke draft bad players? Is he stupid or something? So I personally just think he's not a great evaluator of talent. Here's what I've always said about GMs. We look at who gets picked first in the first round, who gets picked in the second round. And to be fair, that should be weighed heavier than everything else. It really should. Like, that's what stands out to us as fans. But here's what we have to just kind of attempt to wrap our minds around on what a GM does day to day. Because drafting first round and second round guys is a huge part of the job, but that's a very small part of the year. The rest of your year is bouncing people between practice squad and starting lineups. The rest of your year is figuring out who to extend, who to guarantee their contract, when to extend the players, when not to. So there's really a lot that goes into a GM. And I think sometimes we pigeonhole GMs on talent as who they draft in the first and second and third round, which again, it could be fair, but there is more to a GM than that. There really is. Like I said, if you look at the transactions from an NFL team, they're bouncing players with injuries back and forth between practice squads and cutting players and re-signing players. And there's a lot that goes into the day-to-day that's not who you draft on draft night. Now, should who you draft on draft night be weighed heavier than everything else you do? Maybe. But there is a lot more. I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it. So he just may not be a good evaluator of talent. And we've seen even in the past, we've seen people that are good evaluators of talent in the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth round, but that aren't good in the first and the second and the third round. So it's how do you evaluate those guys? So, I don't know. Ron Beedry says, so Jason, I guess what you're saying is basically Houston picked our butt. They kicked our butt. They did. Gavin Baker says, have you ever considered collaborating with another Jags podcast? I think you two would be great. So I honestly, if you remember Robert, and for those of you that can think back to the OGs, it was me, Robert, Joey, and James. Robert and me talk all the time. We were texting at the game. We were trying to meet up at the game. Robert is a real one. James and Joey, Joey I got no problems with. Life got in the way. James I haven't talked to at all. And the ironic thing is that James and me were good friends for a long time. And then he just kind of dropped off the face of the earth. And we all have friends like that. I mean, we if you all think about your friend group, people you grew up with, you can think of one friend that just like dropped off the face of the earth. No judgment. No judgment. Just not how I not the type of friend that I am. So again, I don't know what's going on in people's lives, so I'm not going to sit here and judge. But at the same time, it's like, it's not that hard to be a decent human being. Okay, so here's a play that I like. And this play came again in the second half because all these plays came in the second half. A tight formation. Okay, so we're going to see here. We have, again, you guys know I hate these tight formations, but this play worked. So got to give credit where credit is due. Okay. You have one tight end and one back, so we'll call this 11 ace because they have one tight end in the backfield. Trevor's under center. The problem is that other teams, I mean, like, I can tell you this by watching film. Like, if Trevor's under center, he's either running or play action. Like, rarely or never does Trevor, like, drop back out of play action or out of under center and throw the ball. So if you're a defense, you kind of know what we're doing. Like, it's either going to be play action or a run. So if you're a linebacker, and this is what makes this easy for the linebackers, if you're a defensive coach, you're saying, hey, just watch Trevor. If he hands the ball off, attack the ball. If he doesn't, he's probably going to do a boot. And again, this play works, but we're too vanilla. Like, I don't remember what this play is. I can tell you what's going to happen. It's a boot. It's a play action boot. Like, it's just, we're just too vanilla, man. Like, it's just, if I can sit here as a YouTuber and I can tell you what's going to happen, I guarantee you these guys getting paid millions of dollars can tell you what's going to happen. So Trevor doesn't get a clean pocket. The edge rusher does a good job getting there. Luckily, Evan Ingram's open, and the linebacker does a terrible job covering him. Gets the ball, go upfield. And again, we're just too predictable, but this is in the good category. Okay, let's go a good throw. Now, I would love to say that the Jags watched my video and took my solution of spreading the field because you saw a lot more of this game. But I'm not naive and stupid. There's no way they watched my video. I think that they just are good football minds like I am, and they looked at the film from the first 2 weeks, and they were like, we need to spread the field, which is what I would expect them to think. So we saw a lot more of this empty formation, a lot more spread, and here's why you do it. Because now look how Texas has to defend you. Okay, they have to show you their cover 2 shell at the snap. When you, like the last play we just saw, when everyone was lined up here to here, you can do whatever you want disguising your coverage because it's not that hard to get here, or here. It's not that hard because you don't have to travel much distance. When you spread sideline to sideline, you make the defense tell you what they're doing. They're in too high, okay? Now, based on the outside leverage here, inside leverage here, I would probably guess that they're in some sort of cover 6 where they're in cover 3 on this side, and then they're in cover 2 on this side, which is a very popular coverage, and I would expect D'Amico Ryans to have some sort of cover 6 in his bag, right? But when you're here, like it's pretty obvious what they're doing, and then you hit Calvin Ridley in the middle of the field. And I know Calvin Ridley had chances to make this play, but again, not great protection, but enough to where Trevor can allow him to get an inside release right there. Great job. Oh, good. There we go. The Kirk touchdown, okay, which is ironic because the Texans ran the exact same play against us and scored wide open. But you got trips right to the bunch. You're in 10 personnel. I know he's technically a tight end, but he's a receiver in my mind. You're tight all the way around. Texans do a poor job. Again, ironically, they're going to leave Kirk wide open on a corner, and the Jags are going to do the exact same thing 1 quarter later, okay? So here we go. 2 guys go with the Ridley, wide open. Good play call. Caught the Texans in a bad call. I like it. Inside power. You guys know me. You guys know I love the run the ball. You know, I would be the 49ers. I would be the Ravens. I would run the ball every single play. First of all, like, again, look at film. Like, Sheriff is lined up, like, in an obvious pull set. And this is the type of stuff that I just don't understand. Like, if I'm a coach in the film room, like, Sheriff, like, you made it way too obvious. Like, maybe you're trying to cheat it and it still worked out, but it's obvious you're pulling. So he's going to pull out here to the field or to the boundary side because they're on the left hash. There's not a lot of field here. So most teams would be torn between calling the strength to the field side or the strength to the tight end, which give Doug Peterson / Press Taylor credit, right? So they're going to run that inside power. They're going to pull Sheriff. Great job. I love that run. I mean, I would run this play like all the time. You get a hat on a hat. Great job. I mean, you can see Sheriff seals that edge rusher. Ingram gets to the second level on the linebacker. Kirk does a pretty poor job blocking like he did all game. Good job sealing. ETN had a heck of a game now. ETN had a heck of a game. If there's any question on who our best player is, it's Travis Etienne. No doubt about that in my mind. It's coming across the ticker right now. 19 carries, 88 yards, 4 receptions, 50 yards. Best player on our team. Consistently the best player on our team. Mason says Hutch got 2 sacks. Duval TV says, Houston's laughing now, cry later. I like your Drake reference. We're going to bounce back. Ron Beeger says, yeah, but he missed Kirk wide open for a big gain on the same play. When Ridley got a short gain, also missed Ingram twice wide open. 7 in the box. Oh, Timmy Devil's here. Look at this guy. I love it. C. Breacher says, it's Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, okay. Timmy, working. I love it. Timmy says, we suck, Jason. XD Gamer says, how did the Jags not get a single sack? Now, I haven't looked at the time to throw yet for the Texans. But again, I'm telling you, like, CJ Stroud had a good game. And that's no excuse. That is no excuse. The Jags should have had multiple sacks, but CJ Stroud had a good game. There is Timmy. Does anyone know if Zay Jones made the flight to London? I don't know. Robert Smith is from Josh L. Robert Smith talked about that on the broadcast. Linebackers were keying our plays and knew where the ball was going. All right, let me get into some of the bat. Actually, you know what? Let me take a because we're 50 minutes in, and this video is gonna go a little bit longer. Give me like 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna come back. I have a lot more film, so I can't end it soon. But let me just take a quick piss real quick. Right back. Oh, there we go. Okay. I gotta fix my mic here. Okay, anyway, sorry about that. Needed to not only get a refill, but use the bathroom. All right. I have a lot more film ready to go, so whatever. Atlanta's a must-win. Ingram was a monster, says Antonio. Yeah, he was. Okay, let's get to some film here. All right. Have we gotten to any? We did the O good. We did the D good. Okay, so now we're into the bad. So if you're one of those people that likes to be happy, now may be the time to turn the show off. Because now we're getting into the bad. And I cannot guarantee. Oh, there's so many plays. There's so many plays. All right, we're going to go in order. First of all, not blaming Trevor here. It's just third down, okay? Third down. All right. Like, what are we doing here? Like, we have, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 guys rushing the passer. Now, we are an empty set, okay? So we only have 5 guys. So it is 5v5. So to be fair, there is a hat on a hat. We should be okay here. If you're an offensive lineman, again, you got to be counting. Okay, we got 1 here. We got 1 here. 1, 1, 1. So everyone's responsibility is like pretty clear here. Like it's pretty obvious who you're going to be blocking. There's 5 guys at the line of scrimmage. Like, yeah, this guy could come late, but like that's on Trevor. Like if this guy's going to come from here, Trevor's only going to have 3 seconds to throw this ball anyways, and like it's going to take him about 2.5 to get there. So you're giving that up and empty. And if he does blitz, then you can replace. Someone will replace him. And Trevor's good enough to know that. But you can't let these 5 get to you. I mean, you can't if you're an offensive line. Watch what happens. Just absolutely unblocked. Like, what? Like, where is Fortner going? Where is Fortner going? Is he going to help over here? like again, and I know, and again, I'm talking like I'm a film, like I'm a coach in the film room. Like, where are you going? You have a guy right in front of your face, and you're gonna just bail to these outside. I mean, these guys, you have a head up on the tackle and a 9 technique. Where are you going? You're forcing Trevor to throw the ball right away. 3rd down. Okay, great. Now it's 4th down. That's basic football. That's basic football right there. We're staying with the offensive line. Okay, watch your boy Walker Little here. Okay, now again, look at what we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the Jags have 11 ace personnel. Okay, so they got a tight end. They have a running back. Watch Walker Little here, man. Bro, the run is designed to your side. The run is legitimately designed to you know the play call. You know they're pre-snap motioning Evan Ingram to lead block into this B gap. Your only job as Walker Little is to seal this edge rusher. He's lined up at the 9 technique. He's pre-snap aligning, making your job easier, Walker. You're going to let him fold back inside? And because look, if this guy gets blocked, look at where this run hits. I can't pause it in time. I'm just too angry to pause. Look at this. This is what we want. Hat on a hat on a hat. This is my massive gain. That's what I'm talking about. The edge is gone. The edge is gone. This did not happen from last season to this season. I don't know what happened, but this team lost their edge. This team lost their edge. I don't know what it is. You got to block him. And like what he's asked to do there in the context of what he's asked to do, snap in and snap out, is not that hard. Pass block setting, kicking out, getting a speed rusher is so much harder than turning your body and sealing this guy. I mean, ETN's a good back. This team can run the ball, but you've got to block. Hold your block, brother. Hold your block. This is just a bad call. This is just a bad offensive call here. I mean, we're going to take a look here. I mean, we're going to play this a few times through here. And again, you guys know that I hate this tight personnel. And there's a time and place for it. You're going to see a touchdown out of it here. Or no, we already showed you. Did I already show a touchdown? Right, I showed you a touchdown out of it. Maybe I didn't. I don't remember showing it. I'll just show it to you real quick. Oh, good. Where is it? Right here. Okay, listen. They're in tight bunch personnel. Yeah, I already showed this. They're in tight bunch. Defense does a bad job keeping up with the corner out here. That's a good play. Like I'll give you that. But like, this is a bad call. I mean, like, not only does Houston get pressure with 4 immediately, but like, we'll play it through a few times. Watch this route concept with these 4 wide receivers. Okay, 2 tight ends, 2 receivers. Like, in what world does Houston's 1 high cover 3? Not even like an insanely good coverage. In what world is everyone covered in this? Who's open? Who's open? Okay, so right now, okay, it's early in the progression. He's coming open. He's coming open. He's not. Maybe he's coming open. Okay, none of them are looking at Trevor besides this out route here. Trevor's obviously looking to the left side of the field. He's looking at Ridley. Okay, now he needs probably like half of a second more for them to get open. Defender in his face. I mean, Shatley just gets whipped here. Trevor's got somebody in his face immediately. So the only guy who's potentially open over here, he has no shot at setting his feet and making this 20-yard throw. Brenton Strange on the opposite side of the field. You gotta protect. No chance. Trevor's got no chance here. He's got no chance. Here's Calvin Ridley. And I'm not going to harp on, I like Calvin Ridley, so I'm not going to harp on this. And I hate the narrative that Doug Peterson came out and said he's trying to do too much. Bro, this is a drop. Trying to do too much by catching the ball? Okay. Another bad play call here. Again, like, I don't know. I don't know how much longer I can do this, boys. I do not know how much longer I can do this. Please watch these route concepts. Like, this is a tight end here, by the way, like in line. Please watch these route concepts. Please watch what's happening here. Okay, what is this, a fake block? Is this a fake block? You're trying to fake block, then go out? Your boy, Trevor, has no time. He's not even into his route. He's not nowhere near open. Like, what is this? Trevor's gotten outside of the pocket. Rolled out to his right. Able to set his feet. Oh, too bad. Nowhere near open. Double covered. Not looking at the ball. Like, what, dude? What are we doing here? Who's he supposed to throw to right here? This is what you want. You want Trevor. Look at Brenton Strange. Can y'all see him back here? What are we doing? Why is Britton Strange 8 yards behind Trevor Lawrence? Nobody open. Thank God Trevor's a beast. Picks up the first down. But, dude, like, what are we doing here? What are we absolutely doing? Trevor Lawrence on the interception. Not great here, boys. Not great. Let's go back here. Okay, so we have, they spread the field. I'll take this, 11 personnel. They got a tight end and a running back. They're in gun. They're spreading the field. So far, so good. I'll take it. Here we go. Snap. Trevor's into his 5, maybe 7-step drop. Just sinks into his 5-step drop. And who's he supposed to throw it to? Because not only is he into his 5-step drop, he's also backpedaled. He's on his back foot. His right tackle just got blown by, and he's got a double coverage, a guy not looking at the ball, and a guy not looking at the ball, and Evan Ingram, who he could check down to. Like, the scheme's not working. It's not working. Trevor has no chance here. Trevor has no chance here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys blocking 5. 6v5. Why is Trevor throwing off of his back foot with no one open? Again, I'm talking like I'm a coach in their film room. I'm not talking down to them. I'm talking like I'm a coach in their film room. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Oh, Trevor threw an interception. Well, no shit. There's nobody open. He's got a guy in his face. This route concept is garbage. Absolute garbage. What is this, a middle of the field layer concept with outside curls? Layer, curl, curl. Oh, you have 15-yard curls, a layered concept in the middle of the field against a cover 3, which is designed to take away the middle of the field, and you can't block 6v5. I need a second, boys. I need a second. I mean, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do in this situation, boys? I really don't know. It's not the play calling. It's the scheme. It's the scheme. The scheme is terrible. Chris Mason says pathetic. Balefire says our O-line is bad. Go spread and focus on Kirk. I'm with you there, Balefire. Robert Harrington says, am I the asshole for seeing this train wreck coming and taking Sunday off from football? I took my daughter out to lunch and turned off score notifications. Robert Harrington, no, you are not. Are you kidding me? You need to spend as much quality time with your daughter as you can because they grow up so fast. You got to make every second count. Timmy Devil says, Evan Ingram needs to get the first down marker. I love Eazy-E, but his spacing is bad sometimes. Chris Mason says, T. Lawsome, LOL. Mason says, a comeback route. Brenneman says, what's up, United? I'm fine. I'm a little worked up watching this film. But the good news is I'm able to separate Jags games from my own personal feelings. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I can't. I'm glad you're here, Brenneman. Press Taylor or Dub Taylor, call him, please. At this point, Doug Peterson has to hire you, says Debo. I mean, they should. But here's the thing, and I said this at the beginning of the show. Like, they're not watching my videos, but they made a lot of the same adjustments that I talked about in my last film breakdown. What did I say? I said that they needed to blitz more on defense. They need to spread the field, and they did that. Like, they're smart guys. They're thinking the same things I'm thinking. A truth that people don't want to accept is that every coach in college and NFL, they all know the same stuff. Like, again, I pointed this out earlier. You guys are like, oh, 3-4. Not you guys, but other people. 3-4, 4-3. It's all the same crap. It's all the same crap. Like, there's really not that much difference. Like, I promise you it's not that big of a difference. Like, every coach knows the same thing. And, like, they know when they see the film they have to make adjustments. The problem is, again, the quintessential problem is this team lost its edge. And I don't know how to fix it. Do you bring in a guy who gets the edge back? Like, bring in a free agent that kind of has some swagger? But, like, when you're giving up a kick return for a touchdown to a fullback, and you're also giving up a blocked field goal, and you're having coverage breakdowns where people are running wide open, that's not coaching, man. That's like heart. This team lost its heart somewhere. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they let the national media get to their head, but this team lost its heart somewhere. And it sucks. And it shows. C. Breacher says, make United offensive coordinator, simple as that. One day. Insane. Isn't play calling and scheme pretty much the same thing? Not really. And I get it. But the thing is like, when you have a play sheet for like what happens is if you're a coordinator, you have a play sheet and you have it like really like broken down to like what I want to call on first down, what we want to call like after penalty, what we want to call on fourth down, what do we call when we need 1 yard? Like you have your play sheet broken down to like very specific situations. That is what's messed up. So yes, it is play calling, but like that play sheet is messed up is what I'm trying to say. And I thought it was better this game, especially the second half. I mean, they were very unlucky in the first half with the penalties from Calvin Ridley, the drops, things like that. And they looked like their old selves in the second half. It was just too late. You can't put up a goose egg in the first half and expect to win. Timmy Devil says, I told people in your offseason videos that we aren't there yet. We don't have any nastiness on our D-line and our offense is wonky. Timmy Devil, nastiness is the word that I think I would use is what we're missing. We're missing some nastiness. Brenneman says, can we go back to the kickoff touchdown tape? Does Wingard have an angle or just... Yeah, sure. I'm down. I'm down if y'all are. And so Wingard actually I thought, played pretty poor on this play here. But it's the left side contain that really had the issue. Okay, so there's Wingard. Okay, so Wingard got actually knocked down. All right, so let's take a look. Wingard's going to be on this side. And you're going to see him get knocked down right here. So Wingard gets knocked down. And he gets up. No, I'm not really blaming him. He broke the wedge there. I can't blame him there. I mean, it's the outside contain. It's Cisco. Cisco, you're supposed to be one of the fastest guys on the field, brother. Like, here's the problem. You. That's it. And again, it seems like the kickoff is like, oh, it shouldn't come down to 3 guys. It does. Like, you preach stay in your lanes for a reason. Missed tackle. 3 missed tackles. But there's no reason. And again, yeah, he's played a full game. And he might be the only starter on the kickoff coverage. But the reason why you're the only starter on the kickoff coverage, and I love Andre Cisco. But the only reason you're on the kickoff coverage is to prevent things like this. You're telling me Cisco's lined up 3 yards away with an angle. You can't catch this guy. I'm sorry, man. What are we doing? There's no effort there. There's no heart. He's jogging right here. He's jogging. I mean, this is just pathetic. I can't watch this. There's no heart. The team lost its heart somewhere. Mason says, I'm not sunburned. I'm burnt like a freaking crisper. This hurts so much more than prior years because we have so much talent, says Sea Breacher. Yeah, I know. People are always setting bad record. Wingard gives us all. Cisco. I don't even know if I've gotten to all the plays, man. I'm gonna see if there's anything else I want to show. Okay. This kind of shows what I'm talking about here. This kind of shows this play is gonna be the last play I show, and I have a bunch of plays, but like it's an hour 13. I'm getting emotional here. This play sums up the problem with this team. Okay. Texans are an empty set formation. Okay. Empty set. No running backs. They're spread on the field. The Jags, for some reason, are playing this like cover 3 shell against an empty set. Okay. So you have a guy pressed up within 5 yards. He's obviously playing cover 3, Darius Williams. And then you have Rayshon Jenkins, who's like walked down or whatever. Like, what are we expecting here? A run? We have 8 guys in the box against an empty set? Am I taking crazy pills? In what world do you put 8 guys in the box against an empty set? Like, you realize they're throwing the ball. Like, this is insane to me. This is absolutely insane to me. This is how you would line up your defense with these 8 guys if you're expecting a power run up the middle. What are we doing? They drop into coverage. Somehow, with 8 guys in the box, pre-snap, somehow, they still give up a drop-down drag in the middle of the field. Okay. No big deal. No big deal. This is the first down marker. We're okay. Like, if he's a good runner, we'll tackle him 2 yards to 3 yards short. No big deal. It's second down. We're okay here. We're okay. Nope. He's on the 9-yard line. He is on the 9-yard line. Yeah, let's go back and take a look. Where should he have been tackled? Great question there, chat. Great question. He probably should have been tackled somewhere around the 30. But somewhere in the offseason, somewhere this team lost its heart. They lost their hunger. They lost the fact that they were underdogs. And instead of tackling a dragging wide receiver at the 30-yard line, they're going to let this guy run the ball to the 9-yard line. That is the problem with this team. That sums up the problem with this team. Okay, you can talk about everything you want. I don't care. The play calling, Trevor Lawrence, the O-line, Calvin Ridley, the drafting of Trevon Walker. I don't care. Talk about all you want. The problem is, somewhere in this offseason, this team lost its fire. It lost its ability to want to be a good team, to prove to the world that they were something different, and they're giving up runs that should not happen. And I'm sorry, but that's the issue. And you can cut it, slice it, dice it, bring Gordon Ramsay in to cook it in 30 minutes. I don't care. But that's the problem with this team. And I don't know how to fix it. I don't know. I mean, my only thought that comes to mind is that you go out and sign a free agent with some sort of edge to him. And I don't even know who that may be. Someone who comes into the locker room and doesn't accept this type of piss poor quality play. That's the only thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to fix it. But it's not this. This is pathetic. This is absolutely pathetic. This is not football. And again, I'm talking as a coach in the film room. Coach in the film room. This is what I would say to my team. If I'm watching this, I would be disgusted. I would take this mouse, I would throw it against the wall out of disgust, out of what I'm seeing. Because it's not talent. It's not. And that's what pisses me off. It's not talent. This team is way more talented than the Texans. And again, you can sit there and act like that the Texans are, everyone in the NFL, everyone gets paid. They get paid too. They're out here playing too. Well, they do, but the 4 starters on the offensive line that are hurt and the 3 defensive backs that are hurt, They don't get paid the same as Ridley and Kirk and Lawrence and Sheriff and Aluakon and all these other guys. They don't. All right, guys. I'm worked up. A couple comments here, and then I got to end this show because Lord knows me O'Brien's going to get on to me if I keep going. Chris Mason says correction needed. Nobody on this team sets the standard, says Timmy Devil. How do they get paid millions, says Robert Ayers. I don't think the Jags could have beat anybody this past Sunday with the way they played. Bring Arden Key back, says Ben Haney. Jason's bringing the fire, says Ron Beedry. They need to have Gordon Ramsay come in and give them a classic talk. Coach Jay bringing it. That's right. We need you for the pregame speech with this fire. I know. Mr. Pocket Hercules, Arden Key, and Dewan Smoot are better combo than Trevon Walker and Josh Allen. The tape don't lie. Carpe Diem says, wow. Timmy says, we were so lackadaisical. And I'm surprised that word, that's why I love Timmy. That's why Timmy's my favorite. He uses words like lackadaisical. Against the Texans, we were jogging to the line while being down 14. Chris Mason says, I hope Peterson pays all the stolen lunch money out of his own pocket. Red Jet says, this feels like JT O'Sullivan Bears film breakdown. I don't know who that is, but hopefully it's good. BT says, but what do you really think? Carpe Diem says, you just said what we've all been thinking. Oh, good. I'm glad. Raw Jeeb says, Jags United is about to punch a hole in the wall after this stream. I'm actually okay. Listen, this was therapeutic for me. This was very, very therapeutic for me. And listen, I appreciate you guys for that. Lucky they didn't play the Dolphins. Good Lord. Sea Breacher, channel member, says W stream. Robert Ayers says 100-0. Dion says, I'll cut anyone not elite. Half players hit that transfer portal. I feel like they're going to win and the arrogance thing. I wish Trevor was like Peyton Manning and would just yell at people. That's a good point. Nice haircut, brother. Thank you, Chris. You know what? We're going to end on nice haircut. That seems like a great place to end this show from Chris Mason. Thank you for that comment. I love it. Ron Beedry says the best film breakdown in the history of film breakdowns. Listen, I needed this show, boys. I needed this show. Like I said, I cooked like bacon out there in the stadium watching the game. Just absolutely embarrassed wearing my Jags gear. I needed this show. I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you to all the channel members, Nick Ludwig, Sea Breacher, both giving $5 in the super chat. I appreciate it. I had a great time. I needed to vent a little bit, so thank you. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. The next stream is scheduled for Friday night. I have freaking hair in my mouth. We're going to be previewing the Falcons game in London on Friday night. I'm going to get to every comment. Okay, the Friday night of the comment shows. I'm sorry, the film breakdown. I mean, I don't know what this show was, but I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. It seriously means a lot to me. I love each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. This show would not happen without you guys in the chat. So every single one of you, even if I don't give you a shout out, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I will see you guys on Friday night, and we're going to keep our optimism up. We just needed we had to let it out. Listen, it's like going to the gym, going to the boxing gym. You got to hit the bag a little bit to get some of the aggression out. The aggression's out. We're good. We're fine. We're moving on. We get out of London with 2 wins. We're sitting pretty, okay? Appreciate you guys for being here. I will see you guys Friday night. Until then, as always, go Jags.